Go ahead.
Hey everybody, it's Laurie and Mimi, and we are here at Floor and Decor. Mimi is my favorite interior designer, and she stages all of my listings for sale. And the reason we're here today is I'm getting tons of calls from people who want to know what to put down in the house in case we get more water, and also what are the current tips and trends. So we're trying to make a positive thing out of a very negative thing, and we are so sorry for what everyone is going through. And we hope maybe we can bring you a little joy in how to rebuild and get excited about that. Thanks, Mimi, for coming.
My pleasure.
So let's get right to it. Let's talk about some options for flooring. What's your favorite option for flooring?
Favorite option is the ceramic wood looking tile. It's super easy. It's water impermeable. It's, I think, the next best thing to having a concrete floor. And of course, then you don't have to constantly change it. If God forbid you got another flood. I mean, this could be like the finish to you changing your flooring after a flood or, you know, any other kind of damage.
And we're in Florida. Water is happening, right?
Water is a fact of life here now.
So I love the two things that you told me. I did not know this necessarily. She said no grout lines. So as little a grout line as you can pick.
Exactly.
And this one, since this is kind of a more neutral tone, they have a brownish kind of a sand grout line in here, which actually makes this even look even a little more warm.
Yeah.
Mimi told me that gray is out. So we wanted to show you the brown ones. If you still like gray or the other tones, you can take it. But this one is the more warm tone with the color grout. Tell me another one of your favorite ones. I love this one. This is what Mimi did to her house when it flooded.
I actually finished my concrete floors because they just had gotten ruined, and I was like, I'm done. And I actually had my floors, I had all the molding taken off, brought the moldings down to the concrete, and I had the concrete sanded, finished, and then I had it polished.
Yeah. So that would be a kind of a cool contemporary look.
Exactly.
So how do you soften that up?
Oh, I add fluffy rugs. Yeah, I do.
Rug queen,
I love fluffy rugs. So, and it does. It really makes it cozy. And everybody who comes to my house comments on how much they love these floors. So something looks good.
I'm noticing a couple houses that I have visited. A lot of my friends and all live in those 1940s, 1950s homes. When we're tearing up the stuff, we're seeing terrazzo underneath. So terrazzo is another option. And again, big throw rugs are your best friend.
Exactly.
Right? In that case. So real quick, the luxury vinyl tile. You told me to make sure that that was
100% waterproof.
But we're hearing from flooring people that it's not moisture proof. So it's not the best option to go with. We thought maybe we'd have that option for you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's still iffy. I mean, maybe a little water it could take, but honestly, you just really want to go like this because this still has the warm look of wood.
It does.
So
wood. Let's talk about baseboards.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about baseboards. So those have to be replaced.
Yeah. They always do if you get a lot of water, obviously, and they're wood or they're not. They have the vinyl type now that are 100% waterproof. That's what you want to go with also.
That would be nice.
So, and there's some that are like 4 to 6 inches, which larger profile is what's popular now.
Right.
And I think that's honestly the right way to go.
I like that. So if you have the smaller baseboards, now's your chance to put them all the way up to 6 inches and make it look really super fancy.
Exactly. It does.
Let's talk about walls, because I know everybody's having to have their plaster and their drywall torn out. So talk to me a little bit about maybe some options that you could do if you were in a place that you probably thought would get water again. What could you do?
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a product now that they make that's about 4 feet high that looks like wainscoting, but it's waterproof. I mean, 100% waterproof. It's like a vinyl also. And, you know, being that a lot of the homes are getting 3 foot,
right,
approximately that much, some unfortunately a bit more, but not as likely. So having this 4 foot of vinyl that looks like wainscoting, which is very attractive, you know.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Don't they have to, isn't the water going to get behind that and you're going to have to take that off to get the insulation and all that replaced behind it?
The thing is I think that when they use these vinyl sideboards like that, they already have like some kind of a insulation to it.
Oh, okay.
And so you don't have to add that foamy stuff. Or sometimes they do spray the foam behind there, which is also pretty waterproof. So
yeah, and that seems to be another way to go for insulation. So spray foam, it's much more expensive, but it is much more waterproof than the regular
durable
insulation that you get.
Yep.
All right, we're going to talk about one of the fun things now. We're going to talk about what color you're going to paint, what kind of paint you're going to use. Tell us your new favorite when all your high-end multi-million-dollar homes, what are you telling them to paint?
Yeah, it's a color called mayonnaise, which is, if you could think of what that looks like, it's kind of a creamy kind of a color, and it's just so neutral. It goes with everything. We're going back to that again. I mean, gray was always a nice neutral also, but now we're going back to the basics again. Anything in the white, off-white family.
I think you said that was Benjamin Moore as well.
That one is a Benjamin Moore, a color called mayonnaise. I love it. All the high-end homes that we've been working on lately, that's what they've been using.
That's great. The other thing is too, is I know that you've done a lot of my cool things. She's so helpful in some color, but you really wanted to highlight on this video what would be classic and good for everyone.
Exactly.
That could stand the test of time,
yeah.
Or they could change it out and have something else if they wanted to. Tell me when you would use, what kind of paint with.
So you want to use a paint that, of course, is going to be mold resistant. Kills is a great brand. So is Zinsner. You could find probably, actually both of them at your, big lumber stores, Home Depot.
Very good. Good.
Lowe's.
So yeah, that will help. So the other thing is that I noticed, and when you had me do my house and I painted my walls eggshell, which Mimi says we're still allowed to use the eggshell finish.
Yeah, nothing shinier.
But my husband was not happy with it. And you can see a lot of the imperfections. And Mimi's like, a lot of the really high-end homes are actually going with flat paint. And I said, flat?
I know.
It's going to look like chalk.
Yeah.
And you said, not if you get a nice one.
Exactly.
Laura. So we have our walls are done. It's a higher-end paint, but it's flat. And if you start looking, when you go places, you'll notice that they're using a lot of flat paint. Still semi-gloss on your baseboards, right?
Exactly.
And your moldings,
and your moldings.
Why do you do that?
Well, because it is finger and hand resistant. The dirty hands, especially if you have little ones, you want to keep those knobs and the moldings around your doors. And if you're mopping, of course, when it hits the baseboard, that's the whole idea to begin with. That's going to keep it from hurting the walls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dirtying them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a little bit into furniture, some kind of furniture. So you and I were talking about raised furniture. Tell me about how you would, which you've even said you've replaced some of the feet on your furniture.
I took the wood feet off of my furniture and replaced them with stainless steel feet, which I actually did one that was 4 inches high. So if I had 3 inches of water, my sofa saved.
There you go.
Yeah. Very easy to buy it.
You also helped one of my clients who has a room that gets water a lot.
Oh.
And you were so sweet. She said to me, I never thought it would be okay in my breakfast room to use outdoor furniture. She goes, but it's beautiful. So she has some wrought iron. I've seen people use some of the plastic wicker in some of the rooms that get water a lot.
And they look great. It really does look good. It's something you might want to consider, honestly, again, being that so much of the water damages basically all the furniture in your home. This is a way you could just air it out, bring it back in when it's time, and you're good to go.
But if it has been fabric and you had to throw it away and you're going to buy new, Mimi's going to tell you what's new and cool in furniture.
Well, basically, you want to stay far away from those big, fat sofas that men seem to like so much. Streamlined, very simple.
No sectionals, she told me.
Sectionals are like, now get a couple of big chairs and a simple sofa that will kind of have the same effect as a sectional. It's a lot easier to handle, and God forbid you do get some water, you might be able to save 1 or 2 rather than have to get rid of the whole thing. So
what are the new colors for what's coming in for
well
color?
Again, we're going back to basics, back to the beiges and the neutrals. A color called greige, if you could imagine what that's like. It's a mixture of gray and beige together, and
which is confusing because she said no gray.
Right, but it won't look like gray. It really kind of looks more like a beige. I mean, you'll find that color in here, believe it or not. So that's the way to go. You want to stay as simple as possible that way.
You were also saying, it's a lot about bringing the outside in. So natural fibers, like
Exactly.
the rattan is really big now.
Exactly.
Wood pieces and some, furniture that makes a statement that's fun and different, but it's, bringing the outside in, florals, things like that.
Exactly. I mean, and you could add some of that also in like your pillows and your throws. Greens are very popular right now too, by the way. Talk about bringing the
Talk
outside in.
green, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very popular color right now too.
I
So,
love the green. I
me
do.
too.
Okay, let's talk cabinets because we know we're replacing cabinets. So I know that you have some options with cabinets that are like marine grade or
Yeah,
PVC.
right. It's kind of like a PVC material now. It's like a vinyl also,
Mm.
and it's not as prevalent out there yet, but out here in Florida, it's going to be definitely. So it's a vinyl, so it's going to be waterproof.
And you said make sure you get them a little raised, what, 3 to 4 inches?
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of times people put like the footboard underneath. Honestly, it's just hiding the floor underneath it. So honestly, they look nice with the feet now, and you'll really avoid getting water on that part, the plinth, what they call the plinth.
What kind of style?
So shaker is always king. Shaker, and now they have a shaker that's a little bit more modernized. It's a lot more flat along the edges.
Mm-hmm.
So it still has like the border of the traditional shaker, but a little bit more modern edge with that flat, wider um, border on it.
That's
so
cool.
It's very nice.
I've seen it. It's really cool. It's not quite contemporary because it's still a shaker, but it's neat.
Exactly. It's the best of both worlds. And that's what you want to do. You want to get things that are forever,
Right.
that'll always resonate. You could have it for 30 years and it'll still look good.
And if you have to change it in the next year, well, at least, you have options.
Yeah, exactly.
So you gave me some really good advice on some closets. And I noticed with a lot of people, this would have been really good if they known this. Tell them what you were telling about the closet.
Yeah, well, you want to, a lot of closets still just have that one level, which is about 5 feet off the floor where you have the poles. You really want to consider taking that one pole and splitting it and making a 2-level hanging system, because a lot of times people have lost all their clothing because everything's kind of hanging low, and if it's sitting next to the other piece, it's going to get wet. So you want to hang up as high as possible, and then like the second level about 4 feet off the floor, and you're going to save a lot of
what else I like
clothing
about
that
what
way.
You said about that too is you said when you have your closets designed, take them all the way to the ceiling.
Absolutely.
Even if you can't reach it, if the storm comes, you can just take stuff off the floor and throw it up there.
Exactly.
So you might not use it. Or maybe you're putting suitcases up there or something like that. And that way you can pull those down, put stuff in it, and you can put them back up if you want to.
100% right.
Now, I wanted to throw in one thing that I found out about the pool. My friend, her pool pump got fried. And when they came out to put it up, the guy said, let's put it up 4 feet.
Absolutely.
So when you put it back up and you have it secured like you would an air conditioning unit, put it up as high as you can put it. Make sure you remember that you don't want it to be seen from a window, and if it's really loud, you want to make sure that you're not maybe near a bed or something like that. But you have an option so you don't have to replace your pool pump every time. And then the other thing was landscaping. Tell us a little bit about landscaping. We were talking about that.
The landscaping, basically you want to keep it as well, part of it as elevated as possible, and then you also want to keep it as simple as possible. Again,
you were talking a little bit about landscape designers who know how to like create a landscape of high and low to help with the drainage and stuff.
Exactly.
And you also talked a lot about gutters. What were you saying about gutters?
Okay, so the gutters are definitely going to be your best friend. A lot of homes here in Florida don't have them. I'm not sure why, but they are so necessary, and that they funnel those gutters down the side of the house and away from the house, running it sometimes underneath the earth in order to get it out to the gutter.
Yeah, when I go to get it away from the. But I'll tell you, it's interesting when I have home inspections that comes up on almost every home inspection that there's too much water pouring, whether it's from a gutter that it's not extended far enough, or that there is no gutter, that there's too much water hitting the foundation all the time, which is not good for your structural integrity of your home. because you've got constant water. Even that little air condensate line that comes out, and you've always got that little bit of water dropping, shouldn't be dropping right at your foundation.
100%.
Right? So these are some good tips, some good ways to safe-proof your home and make it pretty and cute and fun, and hopefully have a little fun with it. So again, thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You've been busy helping people. I know so much. In the last couple of days, she's really been working really hard with some of her folks to figure out how to get them through this. We've all been kind of trying to buckle down and know where we can be needed, but we were getting such a call for this, and they're already running out of appliances and flooring and cabinets. So we figured we better do this one right away so you could order what you wanted right away. Thanks, Meme.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. It's been fun.
Yeah. Well, we're always here to help you with your transitions in your life and how to help your transitions connect with your real estate ventures. And we're just here to help and provide resources or answers if we can find them for you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.